The alien fleets had started to gather near the outer planets of the solar system. Massive warships with strange shapes and unfamiliar energy weapons formed lines that stretched for millions of kilometers. Humans watched from Earth with a mixture of fear and determination. The people knew they were outnumbered, but they also knew that fear could not dictate their actions. Captain David Harris stood in the command center, watching the alien movements. He knew that the first contact would set the tone for everything that followed. Amy Johnson and Major Jason Carter were ready. Their ships were small, fast and agile, designed to move quickly and strike where the enemy least expected. Amy's squadron took position near an asteroid field, using the rocks as natural cover. Jason's units were hidden behind massive moons waiting for the signal to strike. The humans did not have the firepower to face the aliens head-on, so they relied on cunning and precision. When the first wave of alien scouts approached, the humans launched their ambush. The alien ships, confident in their strength, were surprised by the sudden attack. Missiles and energy pulses struck them before they could react. Amy maneuvered her fighter through the asteroids, dodging blasts and striking at the enemy's weak points. Jason led his team in a coordinated assault that disabled several enemy vessels. The aliens, who had expected an easy victory, were forced to retreat and regroup. Back on Earth, David Harris and Laura Bennett worked tirelessly to understand the aliens' technology. Every captured device, every signal intercepted was studied for weaknesses. Laura found a pattern in the alien communication network and developed a disruptor that could confuse their ships, making coordination nearly impossible. Michael Turner and his team adapted the technology to Earth's defenses, creating new weapons and shields that gave humans a better chance in the battles to come. The Alien Council, monitoring the encounters through long-range sensors, began to feel uneasy. Representatives like Varkon and Thaley reported repeated failures and unexpected losses. The humans were not only resisting, they were winning small battles that should have been impossible. Their strategies were clever, their teamwork impressive, and their courage unmatched. The Council began to question whether enslaving Earth was truly a safe decision. Sarah Collins, a young and talented pilot, became a symbol of human resistance. She led her squadron in a mission to intercept an alien supply convoy near the moon. Using speed, precision, and knowledge of the terrain, her squadron captured several ships and supplies without losing a single pilot. The success inspired humans across the planet. Civilians volunteered for support missions. Engineers worked day and night, and every person contributed to the defense of Earth. As the days passed, human victories grew. Small skirmishes in the asteroid belts near Mars and around the moon showed that humans could adapt quickly to alien tactics. David Harris coordinated missions from the command center, always looking for new ways to outsmart the enemy. Laura Bennett's disruptors were installed on key ships, making alien communication unreliable. Michael Turner's engineering team continued to improve weapons, shields, and energy systems, giving humans an edge that was not expected by their enemies. The alien generals grew frustrated. Their fleets were massive, their weapons powerful, but they could not predict human movements. Every attempt to create a perfect plan failed as humans adapted in real time. The Council convened emergency meetings, debating whether to continue the assault or reconsider their decision. Some suggested halting the invasion temporarily, while others argued that humans had to be destroyed before they became a greater threat. The once united front of the Council began to crack under the pressure of human resistance. On Earth, civilians continued to support the military in every possible way. Factories produced weapons, engineers repaired ships, and intelligence teams monitored alien movements. Even ordinary citizens became heroes, delivering supplies to dangerous zones and assisting in rescue missions. The sense of unity and determination was palpable. Humans had discovered that their greatest strength was not technology alone, but their courage, creativity, and the will to survive together. Major Jason Carter organized rapid response units that could strike at vulnerable points in the alien formations. Amy Johnson and Sarah Collins led daring missions that destroyed supply lines and captured strategic locations. Each successful mission sent a message to the galaxy: Earth would not be enslaved without a fight. Alien fleets, despite their size and power, began to suffer from delays, miscommunication, and unexpected losses. Humanity's unconventional tactics were proving more effective than raw strength. David Harris continued to study the alien fleets, analyzing weaknesses in formation patterns and attack strategies. Laura Bennett refined the communication disruptors, making them more effective in confusing enemy ships. Michael Turner's engineering team designed new ships that could travel through asteroid fields with unmatched speed, allowing humans to ambush larger alien vessels. The collaboration of science, strategy, and courage made Earth's defense a powerful force. The Alien Council became increasingly worried. Reports of human victories arrived from every sector of the solar system. Representatives like Varkon and Thale began advocating caution, suggesting that humanity's potential should not be underestimated. The vote to enslave Earth, once unanimous and confident, now faced serious doubts. The aliens had learned that humans were unpredictable, clever, and determined. The very species they intended to control had become a threat they could not ignore. On Earth, people watched the skies with hope and determination. Every victory, no matter how small, was celebrated. Civilians contributed to the war effort by building equipment, gathering intelligence, and providing logistical support. Communities came together, united by the common goal of defending their planet. Even children in their own ways learned about courage, teamwork, and the importance of helping others. Amy Johnson led a critical mission to intercept a larger alien fleet approaching Mars. Using intelligence gathered from previous encounters, her squadron struck at weak points, disabling key ships and forcing the rest to retreat. Sarah Collins assisted in the operation, guiding smaller vessels through asteroid fields to outmaneuver the enemy. The mission was a complete success, further boosting human morale and demonstrating the effectiveness of their tactics. David Harris and Laura Bennett continued to develop strategies that combined technology and human ingenuity. Their work allowed humans to anticipate alien moves and respond effectively. Michael Turner's team created devices that could disable alien engines temporarily, giving humans the upper hand in skirmishes. Every small advantage was used to its fullest, showing that humanity's creativity and courage were unmatched. The Alien Council, realizing the growing threat, began to send envoys to Earth in secret to negotiate. They admitted that humans were not as weak or predictable as they had assumed. The idea of enslaving Earth was no longer seen as feasible. The Council faced a choice: continue a campaign that was failing or attempt diplomacy with a species that had proven its strength. Intelligence and determination. On Earth, preparations continued, but the focus began to shift from mere defense to establishing terms for peace. Humans understood that they had earned a position of respect through their courage and ingenuity. David Harris, Laura Bennett, Michael Turner, and the pilots knew that their efforts had not only defended Earth, but also sent a clear message to the galaxy. Humanity was strong, united, and capable of defending itself against any threat. The people of Earth had shown that even when faced with overwhelming odds, unity, courage, and cleverness could turn the tide. Every mission, every victory, every act of bravery contributed to a story that would be remembered across the galaxy. The alien fleets, once confident of an easy conquest, now approached Earth with caution, respect, and fear. Humanity had proven that they were not a species to be underestimated, and the galaxy would soon learn that every action taken against Earth would come with a price. The Alien Council was in chaos. Reports of human victories arrived from multiple sectors of the solar system. Representatives like Varkon from the Xerans and Thale from the Corinthians were concerned. The humans had turned every skirmish into a challenge that was difficult to overcome. Their tactics were unpredictable, their teamwork impressive, and their courage unmatched. For the first time, the Council began to see humans not as a primitive species to control, but as a serious threat that could not be ignored. On Earth, the people had grown stronger with every battle. Captain David Harris coordinated attacks from the command center, always studying the enemy's movements and finding weaknesses to exploit. Laura Bennett continued to improve the communication disruptors, making it increasingly difficult for alien fleets to coordinate their attacks. Engineer Michael Turner and his team developed faster ships, stronger shields, and weapons that could hit enemies precisely. Each new invention gave humans an advantage that the aliens did not expect. Amy Johnson and Major Jason Carter led daring missions into the asteroid belts and around the outer planets. They used their knowledge of terrain and space conditions to ambush enemy vessels. The aliens, despite their size and power, found themselves outsmarted at every turn. Sarah Collins, a young pilot with extraordinary skills, became a symbol of courage. Her squadron captured several alien ships during a critical mission near Jupiter, gaining supplies and technology that would help humans even more. The civilians played a crucial role too. Factories produced equipment, engineers repaired damaged ships, and volunteers helped gather intelligence. Ordinary people became heroes in their own ways, working together to protect their planet. Communities united, and a sense of determination spread across Earth. Humans realized that their greatest strength was not only technology, but also courage, creativity, and unity. David Harris organized special strike teams that could attack vulnerable points in the alien formations. Amy Johnson and Sarah Collins led these teams using stealth and intelligence to disable key ships and disrupt supply lines. Every successful mission sent a message to the galaxy. Humans would not be easily defeated or enslaved. Alien fleets, despite their power, began to suffer from confusion, miscommunication, and repeated losses. Humanity's clever strategies made them a force to be reckoned with. The alien generals grew more frustrated each day. Their plans to crush Earth quickly were failing. Every strategy the Council devised was countered by human ingenuity. The Alien Council began to argue among themselves. Some wanted to continue the attack, believing that sheer numbers would eventually win. Others, including Varkon and Thale, began to warn that humans were unpredictable and clever. The vote to enslave Earth, once confident and unanimous, now faced serious doubts. On Earth, people watched the skies and celebrated each victory, no matter how small. Civilians helped the military in every way possible. They delivered supplies, gathered intelligence, and built necessary tools. The sense of unity was strong. Humans had discovered that their courage, creativity, and determination made them stronger than the aliens expected. Michael Turner and his team continued to adapt alien technology for human use. New ships capable of traveling through asteroid fields with speed and precision allowed humans to ambush larger enemy vessels. Laura Bennett's communication disruptors caused confusion among the alien fleets, giving humans a strategic advantage. Every small technological advancement improved human chances in every battle. David Harris and Laura Bennett studied alien strategies and learned from each encounter. They analyzed patterns in attacks, understanding weaknesses and creating countermeasures. Amy Johnson and Sarah Collins continued to lead missions that disrupted enemy formations and captured valuable supplies. The human forces were becoming more effective and more confident with every engagement. The Alien Council became increasingly worried. Reports of human victories kept coming from all sectors of the solar system. Representatives like Varkon and Thale started advocating for caution, realizing that underestimating humans was a dangerous mistake. The idea of enslaving Earth, once simple and unanimous, now seemed risky and unwise. The aliens were beginning to understand that humans were not only capable of defending themselves, but also capable of turning the tide of the conflict. On Earth, people were preparing for the next phase of the conflict. The focus was no longer only on defense, but also on strengthening their position in the galaxy. Captain David Harris, Laura Bennett, Michael Turner, and their teams understood that humans had earned respect through courage, intelligence, and unity. They had proven that even against overwhelming odds, humanity could survive and succeed. The young pilot Sarah Collins led a critical mission to intercept a large alien fleet near Saturn. Using precise planning, her squadron disabled key ships and forced the remaining fleet to retreat. Amy Johnson provided backup, guiding smaller vessels through asteroid fields to outmaneuver the enemy. The success of this mission further boosted human morale and showed that their strategies were highly effective. The Alien Council, now realizing the strength and ingenuity of humans, began to reconsider their initial decision. Envoys were sent secretly to Earth to assess the situation and negotiate. The Council admitted that humans were not weak or predictable, and that attempting to enslave them could lead to disastrous consequences. The once confident vote to control Earth was now being reconsidered due to the resilience and brilliance of humanity. On Earth, the sense of pride and determination grew stronger. Every mission, every victory, and every act of courage contributed to the growing legend of human resistance. The people understood that they were not only defending their planet, but also shaping the perception of humans across the galaxy. Even the smallest actions made a difference and reinforced the strength of unity. David Harris and Laura Bennett continued their work, ensuring that humans remained ahead of alien tactics. Michael Turner's engineering team created better ships and weapons, allowing humans to face enemy fleets with greater confidence. Amy Johnson and Sarah Collins continued to lead daring missions, demonstrating that skill, courage, and intelligence could defeat even the most powerful opponents. The Alien Council, witnessing repeated human successes, finally began to send envoys for discussions. They recognized that humanity was a species that could not be underestimated. Any attempt to enslave Earth would risk severe losses and potential defeat. Humans had proven themselves as brave, intelligent, and united defenders of their planet, and the galaxy was beginning to acknowledge their strength. The people of Earth had demonstrated that even in the face of overwhelming odds, courage, unity, and intelligence could overcome any challenge. Every skirmish, every act of ingenuity, and every successful mission contributed to humanity's reputation as a powerful force in the galaxy. Alien fleets, once confident of an easy victory, now approached Earth with caution, respect, and fear. Humans had proven that they were not just survivors. They were warriors capable of shaping their own destiny and demanding respect across the stars. The alien species were growing restless. Despite their large numbers and advanced technology, humans continued to win small but important victories across the solar system. Every plan the Council devised was met with unexpected resistance, and every assumption about human behavior was proven wrong. Alien generals began to argue among themselves. Some wanted to push harder and crush Earth before humans could gain more strength. Others, like Varkon of the Zirans and Thale of the Corinthians, argued that humanity was unpredictable and should not be underestimated. Back on Earth, humans were preparing for a new phase of the conflict. Captain David Harris, along with scientist Laura Bennett and engineer Michael Turner, coordinated strategies that combined intelligence, technology, and human creativity. They analyzed each alien move carefully, searching for weaknesses to exploit. Their work was not only about defense, it was about showing that humanity could fight, adapt, and survive against any enemy. Amy Johnson and Major Jason Carter led elite strike teams on dangerous missions. They used knowledge of asteroid fields, planetary gravity, and other natural features to gain the upper hand. Sarah Collins, the young pilot who had become a symbol of courage, led missions that captured alien supplies and technology, giving humans valuable advantages. Each successful mission boosted morale and showed that humans were not just surviving, they were winning. The civilians played a critical role. Factories ran day and night producing weapons and repairing ships. Engineers and technicians worked tirelessly to adapt alien technology for human use. Volunteers gathered intelligence and supplied the troops with everything they needed. The population worked together in a way that made every person feel like a part of the defense, creating a sense of unity that no alien force had ever seen. David Harris organized special missions to the Alien Council's outer sectors. Small human fleets, guided by intelligence and strategy, struck at key points, disabling critical ships and supply lines. Amy Johnson and Sarah Collins led these missions with precision, using speed and knowledge of the environment to avoid detection. Every success sent a clear message. Humans were capable, clever, and fearless. Meanwhile, Michael Turner's team continued to innovate. They created faster ships capable of navigating asteroid fields, stronger shields that could resist alien energy blasts, and weapons that targeted specific weaknesses. Laura Bennett improved communication disruptors, making it even more difficult for alien fleets to coordinate. The combination of technology, strategy, and human courage made the Earth Defense Command an effective and growing threat. The Alien Council began to panic. Reports of human victories kept coming from all sectors of the solar system. Representatives like Varkon and Thale realized that humans were not the species they thought. They were creative, fearless, and united. The idea of enslaving Earth suddenly seemed dangerous. The Council faced a choice: continue an invasion that was failing or attempt diplomacy with a species that had proven its strength. On Earth, preparations continued. Civilians, engineers, scientists, and soldiers all worked together to strengthen the planet's defenses. Every individual contribution mattered. Each mission, each success reinforced the belief that humanity could survive and thrive, even against overwhelming odds. The people had discovered that their unity, intelligence, and courage were more powerful than the aliens expected. Amy Johnson led a critical mission to intercept a large alien fleet approaching Mars. Using intelligence gathered from previous encounters, her squadron disabled key ships and forced the rest to retreat. Sarah Collins assisted, guiding smaller vessels through asteroid fields to avoid enemy attacks and strike precisely at weak points. The mission was a complete success, demonstrating that humans could outsmart even the most powerful alien forces. David Harris and Laura Bennett worked together to develop strategies that combined technological advantage with human adaptability. Michael Turner's team continued to enhance ships and weapons, giving humans the tools they needed to succeed. Every battle, every successful mission made the humans stronger and more confident. Alien fleets, despite their size, power, and experience, were repeatedly outsmarted. The Alien Council, seeing the growing threat, began to send envoys to Earth. They admitted that humans were not weak, predictable, or easily controlled. The unanimous vote to enslave Earth, once certain and confident, was now being reconsidered. The aliens understood that humanity was a species capable of defending itself, and any attempt to control them could result in disastrous consequences. On Earth, the people celebrated every victory. Even small successes inspired hope and strengthened the collective spirit. Civilians contributed to the war effort in every way possible, from building and repairing equipment to gathering intelligence. Communities came together, united by the goal of defending their planet. Humans had learned that courage, creativity, and unity could overcome even the greatest challenges. Amy Johnson and Sarah Collins continued to lead daring missions, striking at key alien positions and disrupting supply lines. David Harris and Laura Bennett analyzed alien tactics, refining strategies for every encounter. Michael Turner and his team built stronger ships, faster engines, and more effective weapons. The combined efforts of humans in space and on Earth made the defense of the planet highly effective. The Alien Council realized that the humans were not only resisting but were capable of turning the tide. Representatives like Varkon and Thale argued for negotiation, recognizing that any attempt to enslave Earth could result in defeat. Humans had proven that they were intelligent, courageous, and united. The galaxy, which had once dismissed Earth as weak, now watched with a mixture of respect and fear. Every mission, every act of bravery, and every victory reinforced humanity's reputation. Alien fleets approached Earth with caution, respecting the abilities and determination of humans. On Earth, people continued to work together, supporting their soldiers, scientists, and engineers. The combination of technology, strategy, and human spirit made Earth a force that could not be ignored or defeated easily. The humans had proven that even against overwhelming odds, courage, intelligence, and unity could triumph. Every success, no matter how small, contributed to the growing legend of human resistance. Alien fleets, once confident of an easy conquest, now approached with respect and caution. Humans were no longer seen as a weak species. They were warriors capable of defending their home and demanding recognition across the galaxy. Their determination, creativity, and unity had turned the tide, and the Alien Council would soon have to face the consequences of underestimating humanity. The Alien Council was in disarray. Their once confident plans to enslave Earth had failed at every turn. Reports from their fleets indicated repeated losses and unexpected defeats. Representatives like Varkon of the Xerans and Thale of the Corinthians urged for caution. They admitted that humans were not only resilient but also clever and unpredictable. The unanimous vote to enslave Earth was now being reconsidered. The Council realized that any attempt to continue the attack could result in massive losses, and even the destruction of key fleets. On Earth, the mood was a mix of relief and determination. Captain David Harris, scientist Laura Bennett, engineer Michael Turner, and pilots Amy Johnson and Sarah Collins prepared for the possibility of negotiations. They knew that humans had earned respect, but they also understood that caution was necessary. The galaxy had underestimated humanity, and now it was time to show that Earth would only accept terms that guaranteed freedom and safety. Envoys from Earth traveled to the Council chamber in a specially prepared diplomatic vessel. David Harris led the team, accompanied by Laura Bennett, Michael Turner, Amy Johnson, and Sarah Collins. They were the symbols of human courage, intelligence, and determination. As they approached the Council's massive chamber, alien representatives watched with cautious eyes. No species had ever faced humans in this way before, united, confident, and unafraid. The negotiations began. Alien leaders admitted that their plan to enslave Earth had been a mistake. They had underestimated human intelligence, creativity, and courage. Varkon and Thale spoke on behalf of their species. acknowledging that humans were not only strong, but also capable of defending themselves against overwhelming odds. The humans listened calmly but firmly, making it clear that any agreement had to respect Earth's sovereignty. David Harris explained the human position. He emphasized that humans did not seek war, but would defend their planet with every resource available. Laura Bennett presented evidence of human ingenuity, including technological advancements that had been developed from captured alien equipment. Michael Turner demonstrated the effectiveness of Earth's modified ships and weapons, showing how humans had turned alien technology into tools of defense. Amy Johnson and Sarah Collins recounted successful missions that disrupted enemy fleets and protected Earth's citizens. The Alien Council listened carefully. The envoy's words, combined with undeniable proof of human capability, created a shift in perception. The once unified vote to enslave Earth now seemed reckless and dangerous. Many representatives began to admit that humanity deserved respect and consideration rather than domination. Discussions and debates among the council members lasted for hours, as species reconsidered their positions and the potential consequences of continued aggression. Back on Earth, citizens followed the progress of the negotiations with intense interest. Every victory, every act of bravery had contributed to this moment. Civilians and soldiers alike understood that the outcome of these talks would determine the future of their planet. People continued to support the military, maintain infrastructure, and ensure readiness for any unexpected threats. The unity and determination of humanity were on full display. The negotiations concluded with an agreement that ensured Earth's freedom. The Alien Council accepted that humans could not be enslaved or controlled. Treaties were signed, establishing peaceful relations and recognition of Earth's sovereignty. The humans had achieved what no other species had anticipated. They had turned a vote of doom into a victory that secured their place in the galaxy. Celebrations erupted across the planet. Cities were filled with cheers, and people hugged, laughed, and cried with joy. Soldiers, pilots, engineers, and scientists were recognized for their courage and contribution. Amy Johnson and Sarah Collins were celebrated as heroes for their daring missions. David Harris and Laura Bennett were honored for their leadership and strategic brilliance. Michael Turner received praise for his engineering innovations that had given humans an advantage in the conflict. The victory was not just military, but also moral. Humans had proven that courage, intelligence, and unity could overcome overwhelming odds. They had earned respect across the galaxy and shown that Earth was a planet not to be taken lightly. Alien species that once sought to enslave humanity now approached with respect, recognizing the strength and determination of humans. Humanity's reputation in the galaxy had changed forever. The planet's citizens understood that their actions had made a difference not only for themselves, but also for future generations. The stories of bravery, ingenuity, and unity would be told for years to come, reminding humans and aliens alike of the power of courage and determination. David Harris, Laura Bennett, Michael Turner, Amy Johnson, and Sarah Collins returned to Earth as heroes. They had faced overwhelming odds and emerged victorious, not through sheer numbers but through intelligence, strategy, and teamwork. The Alien Council had learned a valuable lesson: never underestimate humanity. Humans were not only capable of defending their home, but also capable of turning the tides of history with courage, unity, and cleverness. The people of Earth had changed the galaxy's perception. No longer seen as weak, they were now recognized as a species with strength, intelligence, and bravery. Alien fleets approached cautiously. Diplomats treated Earth with respect. And the once unanimous vote to enslave the planet became a story of humility for the galaxy. Humans had shown that even when facing the most powerful forces, unity, courage, and intelligence could triumph. As celebrations continued across the planet, humans prepared for a future where they could engage with the galaxy on their terms. The lessons learned during the conflict, strategic thinking, technological adaptation, and collective courage, would guide them in the years to come. Earth had proven that it could stand firm against any threat, and the galaxy would never again underestimate the power of humanity. The Galactic Council had gathered in a massive chamber floating above the center of the galaxy. Alien representatives from hundreds of species filled the room, their shapes and sizes strange to human eyes. The air was alive with a mix of alien languages, all translated into a common tongue by devices that hovered near each delegate. The topic on the table was Earth, a small blue planet in a quiet part of the Milky Way. Every species had been asked to vote on what should be done with humanity. As the council members made their choices, a wave of silence fell over the room when the votes were counted. The decision was unanimous. Earth was to be enslaved. Every alien species, from the insect-like Xerans to the hulking Corinthians, had agreed. It seemed that all life in the galaxy had judged humans as dangerous and unworthy of freedom. Back on Earth, life went on normally. In cities, people walked along crowded streets, unaware of the doom decided for them far above the stars. In the suburbs, children played while parents worked. In laboratories, scientists studied data and conducted experiments. No one suspected that a decision had been made that could change the planet forever. Captain David Harris, an experienced astronaut and space officer, was the first to notice the unusual signals coming from deep space. Strange patterns appeared on his screens, signals that did not match anything humans had ever detected. At first, he thought it might be a natural anomaly, but the signals repeated with a rhythm that suggested intelligence. David contacted his colleague, scientist Laura Bennett, who specialized in communication signals. Together, they began to decode the strange patterns. Slowly, the message became clear. The signals were a warning, and the warning was urgent. The galaxy had voted to enslave Earth. The news was staggering. David and Laura realized the gravity of the situation immediately. They knew they had little time to act, but they also knew that panic would solve nothing. Humanity had survived many challenges before, and this was one more that required intelligence, courage, and unity. David called a meeting with key military and scientific leaders. Among them were engineer Michael Turner, who had designed some of Earth's most advanced ships, and pilot Amy Johnson, known for her daring missions and space training exercises. They discussed strategies that did not rely on sheer numbers, because humans were outnumbered in every sense. Instead, they focused on creativity, speed, and using Earth's unique environment to their advantage. Even small successes like intercepting signals or understanding alien tactics could make a big difference. The first signs of the alien fleet arrived near the outer planets of the solar system. At first, they moved slowly, testing the defenses of the human outposts. David and Amy coordinated patrols to monitor these movements. The aliens were unlike any species humans had seen in simulations. Their ships could change shape, blend with the void of space, and emit energy blasts that humans could barely counter. Yet humans had something the aliens underestimated: adaptability. Each encounter showed that humans could quickly learn, adjust, and respond in ways the aliens did not anticipate. In orbit above Mars, Major Jason Carter led a squad of elite pilots in a training exercise that quickly became a real mission. When alien ships approached, they used the asteroid fields as cover, striking at the enemy with speed and surprise. Amy Johnson, piloting one of the lead ships, weaved between asteroids and launched attacks that disabled enemy vessels. The aliens expected easy victories, but they faced resistance at every turn. The reports sent back to their council caused confusion and fear. Earth, a planet they had dismissed, was proving to be formidable. Meanwhile, back on Earth, civilians were not idle. Engineers, technicians, and volunteers worked day and night to prepare defenses. Michael Turner and his team reverse-engineered alien technology from intercepted probes, creating tools and weapons that humans could use against the invading forces. Laura Bennett developed disruptors that interfered with alien communications, giving human fleets an unexpected advantage. It became clear that humanity's strength lay not in numbers but in their intelligence, courage, and cooperation. News of human victories began to spread. In one notable mission, Sarah Collins, a young pilot with exceptional skill, led a squadron to intercept an alien supply convoy near the moon. They ambushed the convoy, capturing ships and supplies without a single human casualty. Her success became a symbol of hope for all of Earth, showing that even a small group of determined humans could achieve great victories. People watched in awe as stories of bravery and ingenuity came from every corner of the planet. The alien species, observing the unexpected resistance, started questioning their initial decision. Representatives like Varkon from the Xerans and Thyle from the Corinthians reported back to their leaders that humans were not only surviving, but excelling in combat. They were unpredictable, creative, and fearless. For the first time, the council members saw humans not as a primitive species, but as a force that could not be easily controlled. David Harris, Laura Bennett, and their team continued to analyze every piece of information they could find about the alien fleets. They studied attack patterns, ship capabilities, and communication methods. Each new insight was quickly used to strengthen Earth's defenses. Amy Johnson and other pilots trained relentlessly, preparing for attacks that could come at any moment. Major Jason Carter worked to organize small strike teams that could launch rapid responses and surprise attacks, exploiting weaknesses in the alien formations. Even ordinary people contributed. Civilians built support stations, gathered intelligence, and assisted in transporting supplies. The sense of unity was remarkable. Humans from all walks of life were willing to fight not just for their survival, but for the freedom of their planet. This collective effort created a spirit and determination that no alien force could anticipate or fully understand. As the first phase of the conflict progressed, it became clear that humanity's unconventional approach was working. The aliens were frustrated by their inability to predict human actions. Every plan they devised was met with unexpected resistance. Every assumption about human behavior was proven wrong, and every small human victory became a step towards proving that Earth would never be easily conquered. In the council chamber, tension rose. The once confident alien leaders now faced reports of human successes that were difficult to ignore. The unanimous vote to enslave Earth was no longer seen as a simple task. The representatives debated heatedly among themselves. Some argued for a continued assault, believing that numbers would eventually win. Others, like Varkon and Thale, began to advise caution, warning that humans were not a species to underestimate. The unity of the council was starting to crack, and the very foundation of their decision was shaking. On Earth, life continued alongside the preparations for battle. People went to work, schools continued, and daily routines persisted. But under the surface, a quiet determination spread. Everyone understood that the coming battles would test their limits, but humanity had faced challenges before and emerged stronger. Captain David Harris, standing in the command center overlooking a fleet of human ships, knew that the real test was about to begin. Yet he also knew that the people of Earth, united and determined, had a chance to change the course of history. The first part of humanity's fight for freedom was only the beginning, and the courage, intelligence, and resilience of humans would soon be known across the galaxy.